So today we are going to discuss the question set 6 of the DBMS question sets. So the question says the board of directors of Sakala Academy has decided to computerize the information of all the teachers in the educational institution. The software was developed by Taraka Software Solution, and imagine that you are working as a senior software engineer in this company. You and your team are responsible for creating the database of this software and create a database according to the instructions given to you. The instructions are as follows. So we have to assume that we are the software developers of this company, and we are supposed to create a database and insert this data in it. So I'm going to use HeidiSQL for this. So I have opened HeidiSQL on my right hand side. So first of all, we have to create a database called Sakala Academy to store the students' data. So first of all, we have to click on DBMS, right click on that, click on create new, and then database. So I'm going to put the data, the database name as Sakala Academy, and click on OK. So you'll be able to see our database created over here. The next step is to create a table called student. So I'm going to right click on Sakala Academy and then create new table. The name of the table is going to be student. And I'm going to add the column names, which is going to be student registration number. And the data type is going to be voucher. And the length is going to be 10. And default value is going to be no default. Okay. So we have the column 2. Column 2 is going to be first name. The type is voucher, and the length is going to be 45. Then I have last name, and then I have the gender, length is 10. Then I have the contact number. Okay. So I'm going to save the table. Let's see whether this table is updated. Yes, we can see the table. Then we can enter the data shown below. And they're saying, when entering data, enter the data graphically. So I'm going to enter each of these data graphically. I'm going to go to data section right here on the top. And I'm going to add the first row, which is going to be SCU 001. And then the first name is Amar. Then the last name is going to be Pereira. Then gender male. The contact number 071075121. So let's go on adding the columns one by one. have uploaded to our table. Now let's look at the fourth question, where it says, the data of some students have entered above should be changed as follows. Write the update query required to update the data. So we have to use the update query statement to update the given data over here. So the first thing that we have to update is gender. So where it says the gender of the student whose student registration number is STU006 is marked as female, but should be changed to male. So we have to change the student whose student registration number is this. So it is female, but we have to change it to male. So we have to go to the query page right here, and here is that. Then we have to update it. So I'm going to use the update statement, update. Now I am going to update the database Sakala Academy, and the table that I'm going to update is the student table, and I have to set so I have to see what I have to change. So I have to change the gender. So I'm going to write the column name first, which is the gender, and I have to change the gender to male. I'm going to write that next. Then whose data am I going to change? That I'm going to write next. Where I'm going to change the student registration number. So I'm going to change the gender of the student who has the student registration number as STU006. So I'm going to first put the column name, which is the student registration number. And what is the column that I'm going to change? Column or the row that I'm going to change is STU006. I'm going to change this data of this particular row. Let me show that. So we have the update statement, and then we have the name of the database dot the name of the table and the set query, and then we have to mention the column that we're going to change and the data that we are going to change and whose data are we going to change in which column and in which row. That we have to show from here. Alright, so I'm going to click on execute, and we can see that okay, so over here I have already highlighted the Namal Patiruna has the gender female, but we have changed it, we have updated it. So I'm going to refresh the page to see what happens. There you go. So it changed to male. That is what we are supposed to do. Now let's see what to do next. The second question says Naduni Vijay Singha's student registration number, which is this, is stored in the database. It should be changed to this. So we have to change the student registration number of Naduni Vijay Singha's. So the first thing that we have to do is go to the query statement. Now we're going to do the same, update the database, and we have to update the student table. We have to set. Now what are we going to change? We're going to change the student registration number. So that is under the student registration number column. So we have to change the column name. And what are we supposed to put there? We are supposed to put STU, the corrected one, 010. Now, whose data are we going to change? Where are we going to change? That we have to put next. So we are not going to change, we cannot pick that from the registration ID or the registration number. Therefore, we have to go with the first name and the last name. So I have to put the first column, which is going to be the first name. That is equal to Naduni. And she also has a last name. So I have to put this inside it. Alright. And the last name should be Vijay Singha. So here we have the update statement, the update query statement. So update MySQL Academy.student is the database and the table name. We have to set student registration number to this, whose And whose are we going to set? That is Natuni Vijay Singha. So we have to mention that as well after the where statement, after the where word. So let's execute this and let's go to the data and let's check the data over here. So let's have a look at that. Here's Natuni. So Natuni has a D in her registration number or the registration ID there. We have to remove that D. So I have removed that using the update statement. Now I'm going to refresh that, and as you can see, it has been updated. All right, so now let's look at the next question. So the next question says student registration number STU020, student's first name must be changed to Kalani. Okay, so let's look at STU020, which is this. So over here, we have Lahiru as the first name, but we have to change it to Kalani. So we're going to do the same. We are going to use the update statement, and now we have to see what are we going to change. We are going to change the first name. So I'm going to change the column name to first name. And what is the first name that we are going to give? We're going to give Kalani. And whose name are we going to change? From which column are we going to identify that? We cannot put this because we are actually changing the first name. So we can identify whom to change by the student registration number. So they have already given us, that is STU. So I have to first write the student registration number. And I have to insert this inside braces. And now let's write the student registration number 020. All right, so I'm going to click on execute. Let's go to the table, data, and okay, so currently we have Lahiru, but I'm going to refresh it. Now we have Kalani. So that is how we change a name to another name using the update query statement. So that's all for the question set 6. See you again in question set 7. Until that, thank you for watching.